Ahoy there trader, and welcome back. On this short training we're going to start looking at trend phases in a little bit more detail. Now what you're going to learn is the three phases for maximum profits, and those three phases are a new early stage trend, phase 1, phase 2 is resting, and phase 3 is booming. Nice and simple. Now the tools that you're going to need to identify these three phases are: the primary trend is the 200 period moving average, and the secondary trend is the 50 period moving average. And when you apply them to your chart, this is what it will look like. You'll have two lines on your chart. On my chart you can see here the solid green and red line is the 200 period, and the dotted line is the 50 period. Doesn't matter whether it's dotted or solid, it's just how that I've got it on my chart at the moment. Now, classically speaking, this combination of moving averages will help determine the trend. And if the 50 period is above the 200 period, then usually, classically, it's a bullish trend. And if the 50 period is below the 200 period, then classically that's a bearish trend. And again, this is what it might look like. The three circled areas, you can see that the 50 period, the dotted line, is either above or below the 200 period moving average, the solid line. And at those stages, the three areas on the chart that we've got marked off, we can see the one on the left would be classically a bearish trend. The one in the middle is a bullish trend, and on the right, back to a bearish trend. Now, what trend phases aims to do is to break down this trend and segment the trend even further. Now, it's a significant improvement, and it's going to reduce the lag in spotting new trends as well as stand aside indications, because one of the pitfalls of moving averages is that they're significantly lagging, and the longer the period length that you have, then the greater the lag is. So we're trying to combat that with this segmentation and identify trend phases. So for example, we can see that the average prices are crossed in these three areas here, but price is interacting with these average prices, and that's what we're using the trend phases to identify. Again, a quick illustration before we dip into this in more detail is to the left of these crosses we can see that price moves beyond the average prices, and then the average price, the crossover, catches up. So we have the cross, but that's only after prices moved in the new direction, and this in itself is going to help us to identify new trading opportunities, new phases, and this is what we're going to explore with the new trend phases in this basics training for trend phases.